Hello again, everybody. David Kulko, 7th Avenue Wine Liquor Company, Brooklyn, New York. Today's wine is an old standby. The Altos Las Hormigas Malbec 2008 from Mendoza, Argentina. Well, as everybody knows, Malbec is the quintessential barbecue charbroiled steak wine. And I'm hoping that this is pretty much the same. The thing about Malbec is that it can be produced, I think, pretty consistently in spite of the fact that it's not a blend, it's a single grape, obviously, so it would be more vintage sensitive. But somehow the Malbec is a sturdy, hardy grape like a Cabernet, I guess. So it better withstands the vicissitudes of Mother Nature from one vintage to the next. So you get a fairly consistent product. Maybe the downside to Malbec, as many people might be discovering, is that when a wine becomes popular and faddish, there are a lot of bandwagoners, as it were, and you end up getting maybe so many Malbecs that have flooded the market, and they're all sort of cookie cutter-ish, too similar in style, no real character to offset one from another, and becomes predictable and maybe a little bit. The standards by which they make these Malbecs fall a little bit, so you don't get a good quality wine. You don't get as much bang for the buck over time. And then, of course, the populace, obviously dictates what happens as far as the wine that is produced is concerned. And that means that eventually Malbec will have run its course much in the same way that Merlot ran its course in California, or Chardonnays have run their course in California, and so on and so forth. So you guys get where I'm coming from. I guess the other place that we're looking at in terms of maybe starting to get a little bit too much of the same thing is New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. At any rate, the Altos Las Hormigas is usually a pretty persistent and consistent, persistently decent quality wine. And I hope this is no exception. Red wine all night. What I'm getting on this is something that offsets this wine from other typical Malbecs. Usually Malbecs are very dark fruit, rich, and very, very smoky and full-bodied. This wine is not so much any of those things. It has more of like a cherry, a dark cherry, and a dark raspberry kind of fruit to it. It also has an element of violet. It certainly isn't overly oaked or anything like that. It does have a little bit of a boozy quality to it, which is not a bad thing. But the wine is basically a little bit more lighter bodied, a little bit better structured, much like a French Kulko, which is a Malbec made in France, outside the Bordeaux region. So I think this is a pretty good value. And of course, what do we have it with? Well, it's a given that you're going to have it with some sort of charbroiled red meat. Although I have to say, I would lean more towards a hamburger, a charbroiled hamburger, than I would a steak outright, because it's a little bit on the lighter side. But only a little bit. But it's a very satisfying, well-made bread, and I do recommend it. Altos Las Hormigas Malbec 2008, Mendoza, Argentina. This is David Kulko, 7th Avenue Wine Liquor Company, Brooklyn, New York. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please pass this around to your friends and family and circle of acquaintances in general. And don't forget the blogspot, www.davidkulko.blogspot.com. Thank you again for tuning in.